composition and poetry. It's just my testimony, my Bible scriptures. It is to me what the promised land was to Christians. So yet, what that cross was to Jesus, a blessing and a curse, a beautiful burden that I am more than willing to carry. You see, once upon a time they had this name for me. It was something like poet. Now it's more like prophet. I have a message.
I'm Zuri. I'm 15, well, 15 and a half, and I'm from Austin. My name is Ariana Brown. I'm 17, and I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
How does hip hop influence you?
Hip hop. Basically, hip hop just tells other people's stories from the past and from the present, and a lot of times influencing our future. Today, hip hop. There's some things wrong with hip hop, and that's why I'm glad I got to understand hip hop at this age, because I'm only 15, and so I'm glad that I'm able to understand it and what not to understand about hip hop, so that I can spread other words and make hip hop look good.
And what do you think is wrong with hip hop?
The way they portray a lot of things as African Americans, the way they portray African Americans, not only African Americans but a lot of minorities, and about drugs and sex and money. I think hip hop is so much more than that.
And how does it influence you?
Well, definitely hip hop gets me in the mood to write. A lot of times when I'm not sure where I want to go with this, I just put on like a Nas song or a Talib Kweli album, and then it gets your brain going. It's the wheels turning. You start to think about, okay, I can put this to paper and something that magical can happen.
How do you think African American women are portrayed in mainstream hip hop?
I don't really agree with the way people see hip hop portraying people. People see hip hop portraying young women right now. That's why, as a spoken word artist, I like to write and show other girls that they don't have to be known for their bodies or what they can do for people.
But I think there's also something to be said for the hip hop that doesn't get played on the radio, that isn't in the mainstream, because there's positive hip hop out there. It just doesn't get played on the radio. You know, there has to be support and there has to be an audience for it. So if it's not in demand, then that's not what you're going to hear, that's not what we're going to see. So it definitely starts with the audience. Audience has total say over what they hear and what they see.
Do you think that people that have gone through the same experiences as you, or people that have lived the same culture as you or live in the same area as you, do you think their lives are portrayed in the right way in hip hop today, in mainstream hip hop?
I think the average everyday ordinary person isn't really portrayed that much in hip hop. I mean, especially if you turn on the radio, there's definitely the same ideas that are regurgitated in the same like top 10 songs that are replayed on a loop. No matter what hip hop station you turn to, you can always hear the same kind of music. And so if that's, like I said, it kind of goes back to if that's what the audience wants, then that's what you're gonna get. So in order for there to be a change in actually seeing yourself in a hip hop song, someone has to demand it.
As African American women, how would you like yourself to be portrayed in mainstream music?
A lot of times we aren't credited for how smart we are or all of the things that we're capable of doing. I think hip hop should show the brighter side of women, the brighter side of African Americans as a people as whole, and how rich and powerful our people can be.
I would like to see some women represented in hip hop, period. I feel like every time there's just one woman or there may be two women in hip hop, and I don't feel like it should be that way. It's always been a sort of male-dominated game, but there's definitely MCs out there who are good, just as good, if not better, than the male ones who are out there, and they just don't, for some reason, don't have the opportunity or enough chances to actually put themselves out there. So I would like to see more women, period, because once we have more women, there'll be more variety in the way that women are portrayed, because there's more voices of us.
I speak for the silent. Cry the tears that fall from blackened irises, for the busted larynxes, for the breathless tracheas. I scream the frustration of a disconnected voice off my heart as I beat the clock forgot to tick for. It's for the hungry belly too tired to cry that I roar. I'm unafraid to fight this lost war. I'm willing to die a martyr. I'm willing to barter my soul for your glitter. wearing their emotions on their back as a flag of light skin, dark.
Yet, for you, I would detach my bones, lay them in the sand to form a poem about how my body breaks for you, and how every mistake that you thought we were unhinges me from the core, changing every hope I had of us ever being something more than people who used to love each other. Maybe we were right for all the wrong reasons, but your excuses have expired. I refuse to stand here and apply lipstick to the past, thereby making you feel better and insulting what I still remember. I want my moments back. We sorted our ashes like fools, trying to rebuild what was never there in the first place, but we put on a good show. The arrows were bow tied in the crossfire. The arrows were bow tied in the crossfire, and our miscommunication was so beautiful. Cupid must have been a politician in disguise.
Now, teachers, these instruments of knowledge, these holders of power, these stimulators of our minds are under attack. I don't get it. How the youth of today is supposed to be tomorrow's leaders when you want to cut several thousands of teachers in Texas? Class sizes. Take away school periods like it's a monthly curse. Better yet, force out good teachers. Ain't nothing pretty like pink slips. I don't get it, teacher. It becomes disproportionate. Maybe that translates to less students being taught, fewer actually learning, more falling through the cracks, causing more kids to drop out and graduate without the mentors. Instead increases the number of people on the street with no place to go, sparking the rise in unemployment because they can't get a job or go to college, jumping off suspicion and or criminal behavior, increasing the number of prison beds, therefore opening more prisons. Oh, I get it. Fewer students taught equals millions more people in unemployment lines. Or seeking public assistance like food stamps and Medicaid with no job.
Right, because that's the only time we listen. Let's face it, it wasn't for this stage, this stand, those chairs. Some people wouldn't give a damn about my well-being. When I cry my heart out, there is no applause, there is no cash prize for suicidal cops. And when you step to the stage, it is no longer about you. See, this is about truth. It is about that heart, waiting to be mended by metaphors, comforted by the companionship of your words. It's about the simplest simile showing this woman, that man, that somebody, anybody has felt what they feel. This shit is real. We, with our words, have built this building into a sanctuary where we come as artists of fellowship, celebrating the fact that God himself has given us each a piece of his power to create through the direct link he has to our souls, connected to our hearts, our minds, our fingertips. Yo, let there be light. We should spread light with our words. Expose shit through free verse. Open mic and rewrite it and reverb. Affect that shit and bring it back to life like a rebirth. You'll see we bogus. We have purpose. I have purpose and goals and ambitions, and I swear to you, sometimes I'm supposed to taste that shit often. The only thing between me and them are 5 strangers, each holding my pain in their head, and I swear to you, I'm doing all I can, and I'm trying. Just keep flapping these broken wings when it's so hard to keep flying. When your numbers are not defined, and damn, they just keep reminding me of what I have to show for